Welcome to the Pair Fair today. And today's story is Choose Your Friends Wisely. So let's jump right into our story, and here we go. Victor and Ray were friends. One day, while on a holiday exploring a forest, they saw a bear coming toward them. Naturally, they're both frightened, so Ray, who knew how to climb trees, climbed one quickly. He didn't spare a thought to his friend, who had no idea how to climb a tree. Victor thought for a moment he had heard that animals don't attack dead bodies, so he fell to the ground and held his breath. The bear sniffed him, thought he was dead, and went on his way. Ray, after he climbed down from the tree, asked Victor, "What did the bear whisper in your ear?" Victor replied, "The bear asked me to keep away from friends like you." How many of us have friends that we know that if something happened right now, we could call on them? And then we have friends that we know we can't call on them because they don't deal with stress too well. We all have different types of friends that we know that some friends are good to hang out with and just have a good time with. We have other people that we know that we can call and they're going to solve some of our problems. We all have people like that. We have people that we know that during a tough time, they will help us. They will help us. They're not going to run away from us. They're not going to say, "Oh, well, good luck for you." In the story that we read, it says a lot about people and how they treat each other. One person went up to the tree, and he looked down at his friend, didn't extend his arm or anything. Another person had a problem solve and thought about the things that he learned about in science class or things he'd heard before, and he had to use his brain. So we had two different ways to solve the problem. One way was to run away from the problem. The other way was to outsmart the bear. And sometimes as I look and I watch people and their friendships, as I watch friendships over and over again, people who are going to be with you through the good times, the bad times, are the ones that you really want in your corner. The ones, as soon as the heat turns up a little bit, are going to run away from you. You really don't want them around. They may be nice people, but as soon as that bear is chasing you, they're going to leave you. They're not going to be worried about you. All they care about is themselves, because it's one of those people. Some of these friendships, it's all about them. It's all about their wants. It's all about their wants and needs. It's not about us as friends. It's about, oh well, I'm up the tree. Too bad you can't. Too bad you can't climb. And as we make friendships and as we grow friendships, and as I was talking to my son about making good friends at school, and I kept telling him over and over again, I said, you need friends that are going to encourage you. If your friends are going to not encourage you, you don't really need to be with them. So he told me a little story that I guess they were running across the playground, and just him and his little friend were running, and he was running a little bit faster than his friend. And his friend told him, he said, "Look, if you want to be my friend, you can't run faster than I. I always have to. I always have to be. You're too fast. You need to slow down. You don't need you got to let me win the race." And I told him, I said, "You tell your friend, hey, let's go to the park this weekend. Let's practice running, so we can get you faster. If you want to keep up with me, I'm not going to be slowing down." And a lot of times that's what happens. Our friends, we're on a path of going somewhere, but our friends want to continue to hold us back. They're like that anchor that we just carry around. They're like that anchor, that boat anchor that we carry around, because they want to make sure that wherever you go, they go. And I remember many times that we would go fishing, and my dad and his best friend and I will be out there fishing, and he would throw down the boat anchor. He would throw out the boat anchor because that's where we want to stay at that time to catch the fish. But then we realized sometimes maybe the fish weren't there. So we had to pull that anchor up. We had to pull that anchor up and go somewhere else. And there's many times I realize as I look back, that anchor is only a temporary thing. It's not supposed to be a permanent thing that you hang out in that spot. your whole life. You're supposed to be able to go to different places. You're supposed to be able to move around. You stay there for a certain period of time, pull the anchor up, and then you go. Drop the anchor, move along. Because you're always looking for bigger and better things to do. You don't want to stay in the same spot over and over and over again and hope for better results because maybe the results are somewhere else. And as you evaluate your friends that you have, look at the friends that are constantly, they will be in contact with you over the, you know, just to check on you. How many people just actually check on you and see how you're doing? Everything okay over there? Anything I can do for you? Anything I can do for you? Those are the people that you want in your corner. And then you don't want to have friends that you tell them, hey, you know what? I need this weekend, I need my refrigerator moved. I'm getting a new refrigerator and I don't really want to pay the delivery charges. And you don't want the friends to say, oh, well, okay, I'm busy this weekend. I got a ball game this week. You want friends that will constantly be there for you. She'd be able to call that person at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And they will say, okay, I have a flat tire. And I remember one of the stories a long time ago. This was way before cell phones and all this other stuff. Talking to, I remember this one time, my father's best friend, they traveled to North Carolina and they had this Buick Electric. I think it was a Buick. It was a Buick. And they went to North Carolina to visit their family and they were coming back to Alabama. And in a certain part of Alabama, there's this mountain called Montesano Mountain. And they were coming back early in the morning, like 3:30, 4:30 in the morning. And this is way before cell phones. And the car gave out on them. And this is where before we had payphones. So it was about 4:30 in the morning and the phone rang in our house. And my father's best friend told him that he was stranded on the side of Montesano Mountain with his family. And so my father, jumped up, put on his pants, got dressed, said, hey, such and such are stranded. I'm going to go take care of the situation. To this day, as I talked to him about this, that was one of the indications that he was a good friend. That no matter where he was willing to go get him. And it's all about trust, of having trust in someone. And a lot of times your friends, and just you need to do this little exercise with your friends, is give them something and see if you can trust them with something. Because a lot of times people will give you an opportunity to earn that trust. And if you don't do it, you're not a good friend. You're not a good friend. You may be a friend for distance, but you're really not a good friend. Trust is one of the most important things that you can have as a friend. Because I notice a lot of times people will tell you things, but if you tell another person and spread their stuff around, they're never going to trust you with anything else. And as I watch the news, and lately I've been watching the news, and every time I notice, they're always talking about there's leaks. There's people who are leaking information in the government. There's people who are saying things and saying this and saying that because there's no trust there. And if you don't have trust with your friend, as I think back to the story, the person who ran up the tree, he trusted his abilities that he'll be okay. But he never thought about his friend down there on the ground with the bear. As you form your friendships and as you make friends, I see a lot of people who just give their friendships to anyone. They're friendly people. They're nice people. But sometimes we just give our friendships to anyone. And people have to understand, you have to earn people's trust. You just can't just give that to them. They have to actually go out there and work for it. I have friends to this day that there's certain things that I trust them with. There's other people that other friends. I have friends that I really don't trust. I don't give them the whole, like to say, the whole enchilada. I give them enough, but I know there's certain things that I can trust them with and certain things I can't trust them with because all friends have different personalities. Not everyone can handle certain situations. And I have a group of friends that if I had a leak in a pipe or whatever, I have to call those people. I have other people that if I call them about the leak that I might have, all they're going to talk about is, oh, how bad it is. How, wow, I don't know what you're going to do. And those are the people, and not saying that I eliminate those people, but I don't really need them around at that situation. I need all the positive people that I can have during that time to encourage me and say, well, you know what? I think you are going to fix that. I don't need that one naysayer in the corner and say, I don't know if it's going to work or not. And you just have to politely tell them, hey, you know what? You need to step out right now because you need people who are going to be in your corner. And if you have a bunch of people who are constantly telling you that it's not going to work out for you, you got the wrong set of friends. Your friends are supposed to make you better. Your friends are supposed to uplift you. Your friends are supposed to make you a better person. And as I see some people who constantly go through friend after friend after friend, and they can't figure out why they can't sustain friendships, it's because maybe something's going on with them. Maybe they don't have that trust issue. And as we look back at how people are treating each other in this world, it's all about trust. Do I trust you enough to give you a problem that I can actually have you solve? Are you one of those friends that you constantly want better friendships, but you never can have it? And I see this all the time with trust and friendship. I'm like, I always ask people, why did your friendship last? Well, I didn't trust that person. And you see that all the time on TV. And they just build these lovely series, these novellas or whatever you want to call them. It's all on trust. And a lot of times I'm watching these news programs and I'm just flipping through. And it could be in English, it could be in Spanish, it could be in Japanese, it could be in Korean. And I don't understand these languages, but you can tell by the body language, maybe from the guy, from the girl in the story. And what it is trust issues. They don't trust that person. Maybe they did something that's, not the right thing to do. And the thing is about trust, once you lose someone's trust, it is so hard to get it back. It is so hard to get it back. You basically master this in the friendship. I hate to be bold with that, but if you don't trust someone, you never ever going to have the same friendship again. And you see that on movies all the time. I was watching this movie just recently, and it was this rock movie. I don't know, skyscraper or whatever. And all these bad guys were chasing the rock and trying to get him. And but I realized, and then the bad guys were killing each other off because they didn't trust each other. So they all were in cahoots to get this person, but then they had a different agenda. So the trust issue was not there. So as we go out today, think about the friends that you have. Think about the ones that you can trust. Think about the ones that when you're in a problem, they're going to be there for you. They're not going to climb up the tree and look down at you and say, all right, good luck for you. Think about the person that if you had a flat tire or your car broke, you could call them on the phone and they would come out there and get you. They wouldn't hee and haw and say, I can't do it. I'm busy right now. Call AAA. Good luck. Too bad. How sad. Think about those friends. And as you think about those friends, it's real easy to do that. You just make a T chart and you said on one side, friends you can count on, friends that you can't count on. And it's okay to have those friends that you can't count on. I'm not saying eliminate them, but when things get tough, you can't go to that side of the list. You have to stay to the side of the list on the left side. You can't count on. And remember, it's not just what they can give you. What can you give that friend? Because it can't be just them always servicing you. You have to service them too. You have to give friends things too. You just can't just keep hoping. And I see this all the time. I see people always playing up to people, but I never see it going the other way. It should go both ways. It's not a one-way street. You should be able to foster that friendship better and better each day. Each person should be giving through that friendship. All right. Well, once again, thank you for joining us on the Parafair. It's been nice topic to talk about as friends. And we want to thank you again for all the wonderful comments that we're receiving on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And as we continue to get bigger and better and keep producing more content for you out there, hopefully our podcasts are making your days a lot more helpful. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.